If you drove to work after pulling an all-nighter, you broke the law. Not because you were tired, because you were legally impaired. Studies show that being awake for 24 hours straight hits your brain the same way as blowing a .10 on a breathalyzer. That's above the legal drunk driving limit in every country on Earth. And most people do it without thinking twice. In the next 15 minutes, you're going to learn 3 things that will change how you think about sleep forever. First, exactly what happens inside your skull after 24 hours without sleep, down to the neuroscience. Second, why sleep deprivation is officially more dangerous than drunk driving in certain situations, and the data that proves it. And third, what you can actually do about it, because this isn't just a scare lecture. There's a way out. Let's get into it. Here's something that should scare you. Your brain doesn't actually know when it's impaired. Whether it's alcohol, drugs, or sleep deprivation, when you're impaired, you consistently overestimate your own ability. You think you're fine. You're not. In 1997, a researcher named David Dins at the University of Pennsylvania ran a now famous study. He kept subjects awake for varying lengths of time and measured their cognitive performance every 2 hours. The results were brutal. After 17 hours awake, that's just getting home late from a long shift, performance dropped to the equivalent of someone with a blood alcohol concentration of 0.05. After 24 hours, 0.10. After just 1 more hour, performance degraded even further. Reaction times slowed, decision-making collapsed. And here's the part that gets people. The subjects reported feeling fine. When you drink alcohol, most people have a moment of awareness. You feel it hit, you know you've had a few, you make, hopefully, a judgment call. Sleep deprivation doesn't give you that warning signal. Your brain's self-monitoring system, the prefrontal cortex, is one of the first things to go offline. So the very tool you'd use to assess how impaired you are is impaired. Understanding this explains something you've probably noticed but never had words for. Why the worst decisions in your life often happened when you were exhausted. It wasn't weakness, it was neuroscience. Let me give you a number that will stick with you. 0.08. That's the legal blood alcohol limit in the United States and most of Europe. Now, here's the thing. You can hit cognitive impairment equivalent to 0.08 after just 17 to 19 hours without sleep. And we're not talking about one fringe study. This has been replicated across multiple research institutions on multiple continents. The journal Sleep published a study by Williamson and Fayer that put subjects through a series of psychomotor vigilance tasks, the kind that measure reaction time, attention, and coordination. The sleep-deprived group, after being awake 17 to 19 hours, performed identically to the group that was legally drunk. Not worse, identically. Same error rates, same reaction delay, same inability to catch their own mistakes. Now, think about that in practical terms. The average adult wakes up around 6 or 7 a.m. By midnight, you've been awake 17 to 18 hours. If you're still driving, still operating machinery, still making critical decisions, you are functionally drunk. And unlike alcohol, there's no roadside test for sleep deprivation. No breathalyzer, no legal threshold. You just get behind the wheel and hope. Here's what makes this worse. Unlike alcohol, you can't just drink water and wait it out. Sleep debt compounds. Every night you shortchange your sleep, you carry that deficit forward. It's like a credit card balance that grows with interest, except the interest is paid in cognitive capacity, immune function, and years off your life. This comparison isn't meant to make you feel bad about every late night. It's meant to make you take sleep seriously in the same way you'd take a legal limit seriously, because the stakes are the same. The 3 worst industrial disasters in modern history, Chernobyl, the Exxon Valdez oil spill, and the Space Shuttle Challenger explosion, all had one thing in common. Sleep deprivation was a contributing factor in each decision-making chain that led to the catastrophe. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration estimates that drowsy driving causes over 91,000 crashes per year in the United States alone. And those are just the ones where it was identified as a factor. The real number is almost certainly higher, because unlike alcohol, there's no post-crash test for fatigue. Here's what a microsleep looks like. You're driving, your eyelids dip for 2 to 5 seconds. At 60 miles per hour, that's 176 feet of road traveled with your eyes closed and your brain offline. That's longer than a basketball court. And most people who have microsleeps don't know they happened. Their brain essentially reboots and picks up where it left off, skipping the blackout. Medical errors are another brutal category. Studies published in the New England Journal of Medicine showed that interns working 24-hour shifts made 36% more serious medical errors than those on shorter schedules. 36%. If a surgeon told you there was a 36% higher chance of a serious mistake during your operation because they hadn't slept, you'd walk out of the hospital. But we've normalized this in medical culture for decades. The consequences of sleep deprivation aren't abstract. They show up in accidents, in errors, in decisions that cascade. Knowing this makes the case for sleep not just personal health advice, but a public safety issue. Here's the lie most people tell themselves. I'll catch up on the weekend. It's well-intentioned. It's also mostly wrong. And here's exactly why. Dr. Matthew Walker, neuroscientist and author of Why We Sleep, explains it this way. Imagine your sleep need as a gas tank. Your body runs on a full tank at around 8 hours. Every night you get 6, you're leaving 2 gallons in the debt column. By Friday, you're running on fumes. Now you sleep 10 hours Saturday. Feels good, right? Here's the problem. You recovered some of the performance deficit, but the biological damage, the immune suppression, the hormonal disruption, the amyloid plaque buildup in the brain that's associated with Alzheimer's, that doesn't fully reverse in one weekend. Sleep science distinguishes between 2 types of sleep debt. Recovery sleep debt, the performance gap you can partially fix, and physiological sleep debt, which represents actual tissue-level damage that accumulates with sustained restriction. The latter is not a bank account. You cannot simply deposit more sleep and withdraw yesterday's damage. There's also what's called sleep inertia, the groggy, impaired state you experience immediately after waking. When you've accumulated significant sleep debt and then try to recover with long sleep, you can end up spending more time in sleep inertia, which itself impairs performance for the first hour after waking. You can make yourself feel worse in the short term trying to fix a chronic problem. The takeaway isn't that recovery sleep is useless. It matters. But treating sleep like a bank account you can overdraft all week and balance on the weekend is a strategy that costs you far more than you realize. Alright, enough of the scary stats. Let's talk about what actually works, because there are specific, evidence-based strategies that can transform your sleep quality and cognitive performance starting tonight. The single most powerful lever you have is sleep timing consistency. Your circadian rhythm, the internal clock that regulates virtually every biological process, operates on a 24-hour cycle keyed to light exposure. When you wake up and go to sleep at wildly different times across the week, you create what's called social jet lag. Your body is perpetually confused about where it is in its cycle. Studies show that even 1 hour of timing inconsistency across the week significantly degrades sleep quality and daytime performance. The fix is deceptively simple. Pick a wake time and hold it, even on weekends. Your wake time is the anchor. Let your sleep time follow. If you wake up at 6:30 every day, your body learns to prepare for sleep around 10:30 to 11. The consistency trains the system. Second strategy, manage your light exposure. Get bright light, preferably sunlight, within 30 minutes of waking. This resets your circadian clock. Conversely, dim your environment for 60 to 90 minutes before bed. Artificial blue light from screens suppresses melatonin production. It's not a myth, it's documented photobiology. Third, if you're already running a sleep debt, don't try to brute force a single 12-hour recovery night. Instead, extend by 30 to 60 minutes per night over a week. This gradual approach better preserves your timing consistency while allowing real recovery. One more. Caffeine has a half-life of 5 to 7 hours. A coffee at 2 p.m. still has half its caffeine load circulating at 7 p.m., disrupting the adenosine buildup that drives your sleep pressure. Cutting caffeine by early afternoon is one of the highest ROI changes most people can make. Sleep isn't passive. It's a skill with specific inputs and outputs. Control the inputs: timing, light, caffeine, environment, and the outputs improve dramatically. You don't need supplements, sleep trackers, or perfect conditions. You need consistency. Here's your takeaway. 24 hours without sleep impairs your brain to the same degree as being legally drunk. This isn't a metaphor, it's measured cognitive science. And unlike alcohol, there's no social stigma, no legal limit, and no breathalyzer to stop you. But now you know. And knowing changes what you do with that information. If this shifted how you think about sleep, there's a video on this channel that goes deeper on the science of sleep stages, REM, deep sleep, and why both matter for different kinds of recovery. Watch that next. The information in that video will make what you learn today click into place in a completely different way. If you found this useful, hit subscribe. Not for my benefit, because the next video we're dropping is directly related to what we just covered, and you're going to want it in your feed. See you there.